Hi, everyone, and welcome back to Interviews with Amazing, Valuable Women. I am the creator of Time Marker Legacy and Tia's Crazy Life. And this week I have Celestine Davis, CEO of UnArtworks and community arts promoter, president of North Carolina Poetry Society, and so many other notable things. It would take me forever to list them all, so I have them in the description below. Welcome. Could you tell me a little more about who you are and all of the things that you do?
Well, who am I? I'm an educator. That's one of the main things I do. That's the thread that runs through everything that I do. It's like, you go through life, and I've had so many different jobs. I reinvented myself a couple times, as people often do. And that was the thread that ran through it, was being able to lift others up in different ways, in training, in teaching, in modeling, and in just promoting. And so that's something I've always done since a child. I've always been in the arts, either as performing in arts, from talent shows to I used to design clothes, or I just went to design school for that. I've always been hooked to the arts. And so, and I realized, those are the things that always kind of like kept me grounded, and also kept me connected to my community, my smaller community and the greater community, because that was my way of reaching out and sharing with people. Because I'm really an introvert by nature, but I call myself an outward facing introvert because I love people, but also, because I spend a lot of time alone, which is great, especially for an artist. I don't mind spending, because I have things I can do. I'm never really bored, because always something I can do. And all artists like that, you can't say you're bored, because you have your art, right? And so that's pretty much who I am. I do a lot of different things. I'm a regional rep for North Carolina Writers Network, which I've done that since 2009. Um, like I said, I teach writing currently at a university, East Carolina University. I do my own workshops. I do a Writing to Heal workshop. And as you said, I just started maybe last year under the pandemic, and trying to find a way to use my lived experiences to lift others up. I developed an art, which is unapologetically not art. And the reason I chose that is because a lot of people think, well, I'm not an artist, or, I can't create anything. And I said, yes, you are, So you don't have to be like a formal artist. You don't have to have that tag on. You don't have to have that schooling. You don't have to have that certificate. But we all are creative. And I think of arts in general as not just painting a picture or sculpturing anything. It's about walking in who you are. And everyone is a creative human being, whether they know it or not, whether they identify it or not. And that's my job, is to help people find what their gifts are, and to walk in it, and help them to use that to build their self-esteem and self-awareness, and help them to overcome the stress with what they bring to the table.
That's amazing. I mean, you're the epitome of what a creative person is, right? Like, you definitely are a creative. And it takes people that are creative to change the world, which I know that you are very good at trying to, change people and for the better, and let them see who they really are. So tell me, what is the passion behind that? I know we touched a little on that, but what is the passion behind the art that you do personally?
I guess my art is in a really significant way an homage to my mother and my father. They're both very creative people. They were farmers, before I was born, and that was I guess, their medium. But with that, my mother was a great storyteller. She used to always tell us stories, and I was like always fascinating. And she was one of those great storytellers that would change her voice and her intonations and her body language, and act out the different roles and things like that. And I just really just loved that, and I really didn't realize how much of an impact it made in me. But I've always written stories since a little girl, but I thought that's what everyone did, right? And so, I thought everybody, designed books, with pictures and stories. I thought that's what you did, right? Then I realized as I got older, oh, that's my unique superpower, And because I was an introvert, because I was a creative person, people came to me when they needed creative ideas. And that was my way of, connected with my community because I was really kind of a nerd, you know. So
Nothing
so
wrong.
that was my way of being part of the group, you know. That
Uh-huh.
was my, you know, my contribution. So
Yeah, where
um
you fit in perfectly, not like everyone else.
exactly. And I
How
was
boring
accepted
would it
for what
be?
I was, who I was, you know, what
Right.
I could do, you know.
Yes, I love that. So I'm gonna change it up since you are a writer. What is your favorite book?
Oh man, that's too much. That's too hard because
How about
I
genre?
love I love so right now I'm into Afrofuturism, but I have a degree in, you know, a certificate in multicultural transnational literature. So I like all works, and I've been introduced to so many works from writers from all over the world, different cultures, and the way they tell stories is so unique. There's so many great writers out there. I like writings by Indigenous people of America. I love the way they're how storytelling is such ingrained part of their history,
Mhm.
and how they you know, how their culture is built, and how just their connection to stories, and how they don't expect them to stay the same, you know. It's historical, but it's also a living thing, and I just love that concept. I love Afrofuturism because it gives you a way of reimagining, for me as an African American or a Black person, which I usually call myself, is that a way of what could I be if we did not have the constraints of things that are on us, or
Right.
that we perceive that are on us, you know. So it's both, you know. Why are we constrained by the things that are internal and external? What, you know, what would the world look like? And also looking at through the lens of some African parables and things like that that I did not know before, and that gives me, that's the researcher part of me, you
Yeah.
know, to go into that and see how that is, and see I can connect to those stories and those lived experiences as well. And so it's just, to me, it's just creativity. To me is just building on taking what's inside of you, taking what's outside of you, and imagining something and creating something new, you
Yeah.
know. To me, that's what creativity is.
Well, I can definitely feel your passion, and oh my gosh, passion to me, and when they say, follow your dreams and stuff like that, it's follow the energy. And I can feel that it gives you energy and life when you talk about those things. And that right there, if we could put that in a bottle for people, like you said, that would be amazing. And I love hearing about all of those things. I definitely want to hear more about that later. So, what do you do in your free time as a creative person?
As a free time, when do I have free time?
You're right. What is that?
That's right. In my free time, I'm trying to now to commit to more to writing my poetry, because I'm trying to get a book out here as soon as possible. And so that's really my commitment now. And also I'm working on some works that kind of go with that. I'm trying to do a combination thing of, I want to have a book where I do illustrations in it as well. You know, so I'm really kind of laying that out, how it's going to come together right now. You know, I don't know. But my thing of it is, I'm not trying so much worrying about, and that's one of my main things. So I'm not worried about the end so much right now, is I'm enjoying the progress, because the artwork, you know, kind of fuels the writing, and the writing fuels the artwork. So how it's going to end up at the end, I don't know yet where the end is going to be. Maybe just at some point I say, okay, I have enough. It's not going to never be an end. You know, that's how people say, when you know, it's the only way you know you're through writing something is if you're dead, you know. Because there's always revisions. Oh, maybe I should do this, maybe I should do that, you know, maybe I should add this or take away that. Sometimes you just have to put a period and say, okay, I'm just going to release it now. It's not an ending, but it's ready to be released. And so I'm hoping that point will come pretty soon. I have to set myself some deadlines so I can get to that point of release.
Yeah. Um, and that is great that you hit on doing art fuels and opens up your brain to be more creative, right? Like it's opening the door and the window to your brain of creativity. So just starting something. And I love that you do that and you bring that into the community of just come and just do it, just live in it. So do you have
Absolutely. Go ahead.
with the the UnArtworks. Is that like a group or is it a place or do you have workshops? How does that work?
Well, I do have a Facebook group. It's a private Facebook group called Unart for Joy Community Circle. And within that, we just, do different things. I host different Facebook Lives. We do different prompts where we do different art things. I'm developing now. I have a series of movies that we show that we talk about different issues and we talk about them because film is my thing too. I'll talk about that a little bit, hopefully before the end of this. Um, and and so what we're going to be doing now is I'm going to be inviting people in. Hopefully you'll be one of my guests, inviting people in and we'll talk about different topics and I'll send you something ahead of time and we'll do some artwork as we're discussing the topic. And so I want to show people how it's very simple. Just choose your medium. One of the things I'm going to be talking about is how to set up your own little art spot. How do you set up your little spot for what you do? How do you choose the mediums that you like? Sometimes you don't know, so try different things. And sometimes I want people to think about what is it they already do that's creative. Because to me, creativity is not just paint and brushes and modeling clay or whatever, is whatever you do. Some people are marvelous cooks. Some people do these things like what you're doing. You've created a platform to highlight other women in their businesses. That's creativity.
Yes.
And so a lot of times we don't think about those things as being creative, and they're very important. If they're not, if we didn't have people that were innovators, if you're innovating creativities are different, but they're two peas in a pod, you know.
Yeah.
So, and I think that people really just need to walk in that and really just and know that, because people, even like people now, you have identified that this is what you can do well. And a lot of people, they're doing things well, but they think it's of no value, and that's what I think that I hope to bring about, is that value those things that you bring to the table. You are awesome, you're powerful, you can create whatever you want when you realize I am a creative person. I am a creative. And so how can I harness what I have to get where I want to be in life? Where it's not some things where you want to be in life, most people think of it as financial gain or a prestigious position. And sometimes that's not going to necessarily make you happy. Those are great to have. I'm not against that. Right. But what I'm saying is, how are you inside? How are you as a person? How are you functioning as far as how are you handling the stresses in life? How are you making yourself happy? How are you showing up for your families and your friends? And so those are the kinds of things we talk about as we do art, how we can use art to infiltrate our lives on that level. So I'm not a art therapist at this time, which is, I'm a non-therapeutic version of allowing people to really kind of investigate their creativity to create a better life for themselves. And I always, say, if you need to go to a therapist, by all means do. And I have a few people that I collaborate with in that way. But most people just need an outlet. And I try to provide that for them.
Yes. Well, first of all, thank you for doing that and having a space and creating a space for people to do that and come as they are and grow. And I think the key word out of that is value, like knowing the value of who you are and what you can do, which is huge. That's definitely, that key word for me is huge. So you mentioned something about filmmaking.
Yes.
Tell me.
That's really one of my pet projects I've been doing for the past really about 7 years, which is Down East Flick Fest. Down East Flick Fest is an annual film festival that I'm the festival director of. It started out of a group of writers that used to meet in Greenville, North Carolina, downtown, which used to be a little coffee shop we used to meet at every Thursday evening. And so it grew out of that, and I'm the only one that kept up with it. And I've had a lot of people on board. I've had like people from the community, people from ECU University, also from other universities and professional filmmakers to come make this a success year after year. Last year, we even did it, even with the pandemic. We were lucky enough, we found a wonderful online platform, and the city of Kinston allowed us to use the historic Granger Stadium for a drive-in movie session. So that was wonderful. And so this is something I really love. I love film, especially because to me, it's a collaboration of all the arts. You have to bring everything to the table in order to do a great film. It's visual, it's performance, it's writing,
Yeah.
it's so many things.
Fashion. Oh my gosh, so many,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, it's cultivating all of the things, which you had mentioned that you did design, and you went to school for it, you said?
Yes, I went to Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising in Los Angeles, California.
Hmm.
And that's why I was one of those people who was um, just me to get away. I was from a small town and I had did everything I could do here, I felt. And I just needed to get away. And opportunity, I had been doing designing clothes, I had been doing fashion shows. I started designing my own clothes and things like that. And I had some friends in California. I didn't have any friends in New York. I probably would have went there, but that's the fashion capital. But I did have some friends in California. They kept saying, come on, come on. So I gathered up my last paycheck and went to Los Angeles. That's how that happened. And I prepared a portfolio, and I was able to get in, and I did that. But then, as things happened, I almost finished it, but my mother passed at the end of that, and so my life kind of shifted, and I ended up coming, eventually coming back home after a few years. That kind of like changed my trajectory a little bit, but skill sets you don't lose. So
No.
I probably would put those to use again. But it
Oh,
was really fun. I did get a chance to design a line of clothes, and I still, design things here and there. So that's still in my toolbox of creativity.
yeah.
Maybe I'll share that with somebody someday when they ask me.
I think that would be cool, especially with film. Are you collaborating making a film?
I'm just beginning to make my first film myself.
Oh,
Um, it's like, learning from others, that's why I'm in a great position to learn how others do it.
research
And
mode?
also,
Yeah.
yes, yes, yes. And just really, it's hard work. It's hard work, but it's great work, it's just, you have to really pre-think things and really pre-plan things. You have to, if you're not organized and you can't really um, think ahead of possible scenarios that might be,
Yeah.
you're not going to do as well,
Right.
of course, you have great actors and that helps as well,
Yeah.
but the director, the filmmaker is really in charge of how it turns out for everyone. So you have to be a good leader and organizer. Yeah.
So before we started recording, we talked a little bit about traveling. So where has been the most influential or intriguing place you've ever been?
Well, being a designer, I've always wanted to go to Paris.
Yeah.
I always wanted to go to Italy too. I haven't gone there yet, but the first time I went to Europe was both times through a study abroad program. First year, I did not get to go to Paris. I was so depressed.
Oh
I
no.
love London though. I love they have beautiful museums. I love that. I love that. It's like the world. You go to London, it's like you're in the world because they got everybody stuff there, right?
Right. Right.
And so, but the second time I went, I did get to go to Paris. And as it turned out, I was on my own for a large part of that trip to Paris. And it was great. So I got to talk to the French people, and most of them speak English, or we spoke enough English, not understand enough French, and we were able to communicate. I went to some of the markets. I got to go to some of the fancy stores downtown, Christian Dior and all that stuff like that. So I was in heaven. I was in heaven. So for me, I guess that's really a special place in my heart for that, as for that part of me. For as far as just like we kind of touched on before, just part of just feeling like what it's like to feel in a different space than America. I think my many trips I used to go to Jamaica was really played a really big impact on mine. I used to go at least 2 or 3 times a year. I mean, that's how often I went. And it was a lovely place. It was a totally different vibe. It was a totally different feeling than being here. And it's like not necessarily better, but it was just different. It was truly a vacation because I didn't have to carry around the same kind of expectations.
Yeah.
And also it gave me an opportunity for once to be um, a visitor. But when you're a visitor, you see things differently when then
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? So sometimes I do that even here. I try to say, how would I go about seeing my environment as an outsider, as a visitor? You should try it sometime. You'd be surprised what you find out and how
Okay.
marvelous you find out where you live really is, because we're just so busy going from point A to point B and doing our regular things that we don't see how beautiful our places are, you know, how beautiful our people are, how beautiful people are in the inside. And that's too, that's what a part of, even with on art to me, is to slow down, you
Right.
know, recognize the beauty in yourself, recognize the beauty in your surroundings, and how can you make your surroundings more the way you want them to be? Because it all starts with us. And my whole thing is that it's not about the outcomes. Outcomes are wonderful. We always want to hit that mark, whatever that mark is. But you cannot wait to hit that mark to enjoy your life or to enjoy what you're creating, you know, and that's my really point. Learn to enjoy your life where you are, enjoy the process, you know, not just like be stagnant. Say, okay, I'm gonna enjoy my life where I am. Be grateful for that,
Right.
but also make progress. And as you make that progress, give yourself little pats on the back. The progress itself, you know, is a pat on the back, but really just be in that and recognize that. And because a lot of times we're trying to move so fast to someone else's drumbeat that we don't enjoy our own lives. And so I just want to encourage people to do that.
Yes. And on that note, you have some things coming up. You're going to be in our group, Empowering Time Markers. We're going to talk, it's going to be called Discover Your Gifts. It'll be June 26th, a Saturday at 1 p.m. I will have that in the group. And all the links are down below if you'd like to join and see her. Also, in your own groups, next month, you have an amazing talk you're going to do on becoming your own best friend, which I'm a
Yes.
huge advocate for. I love that. So that'll be July 10th. And all of her links are down below. So is there anything else that's coming up that you would like to tell the people that are watching?
I just want to encourage people to just, you know, visit, you know, if you're interested in finding out more about what we're doing, you can just join that you know, sign up and join our Facebook group, which is UnArt for Joy Community Circle. And it just have a few questions, and it's nothing that to keep people out, basically just questions so I can understand where they're from, so I can see how I can best serve them. And also I'm looking for people who just want to, I'm going to be doing an art show for people that's in the group, hopefully by the end of the year. And so we're going to do a presentation of written works and also artwork for those people. So I'm looking for people who want to sign up to do that as well. And so I'm just really just looking forward to just, you know, trying to use my lived experience, help other people to use their lived experiences to live a more creative life.
Yes. And thank you so much for being a person of value and sharing yourself with all of us. So thank you so much. Like I said before, all of the links are below. And I have also a huge announcement too. Since this is just happening on the same day that we're recording it, my first published work is coming out today. Isn't that amazing? I will have the links out for that. It's Don't Be Invisible, or yeah, Don't Be Invisible, Be Fabulous, A Mile in
Oh, wow.
Shoes. And so I am a featured writer in that as well. So make sure you click the link down below for that as well. So thank you so
Thank you so
much.
much for welcoming me. I really appreciate this. This is wonderful, and good luck on your book. I'm going to sign up to get it. I'm gonna look
Thank
down
you.
below and get that link.
Thank you. I can't wait to work with you more and collab more. You're amazing. So thank you so much for doing this. And I'll see you all
Thank you
later.
so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.